welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kim, your favorite yachty y'all. Alright, so part 3 of my glow up story. I don't know why I said that, but whatever. My little come up job situation. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, I don't know what you're doing here, but you're gonna have to back it up just a little bit. Go to part 1, then watch part 2, then come back and see me, okay? Yeah, so now we're in Jamaica, and I wasn't working when I went back. Basically, I was trying to build something out of myself, so I was really trying to come up with a plan. I decided I didn't have money to like just right away go back to college, and like I said, I kind of flunked out a lot of it, so it just would have been a waste of time. It would just, for what I wanted to do, I feel like it just would have taken up too much of my time that I didn't have. So I decided to I was gonna go get my SATs and then try to come over here and go to college over here. So I took a chunk of the money that I saved. I was so proud of myself. This was a big move for me, y'all. I paid my own school fee to go do my SATs, and I was at the time paying for my daughter to go to daycare and all that stuff while I was going to school. Real single mom shit, you know what I'm saying? Like taking my daughter to daycare in the morning time, then going to school, picking her up and all that stuff. And it was hard because I remember, you know, at that time I'm still 20, and it's just like everybody else my age. No, I was 21 by this point. Yeah, I was 21. But everybody else my age is kind of like doing different things. At 21, like most people don't have a kid, and they're like partying a lot, and just life is just so much less complicated than mine. And I'm like in school with all these people. I'm making friends with them, and they're like, oh, we should do this or we should do that. And I'm just like, I can't. I have my child. I have to do this. I have to do that. And, you know, I just have a specific amount of money that I'm trying to be strategic with. So I just really had to be focused. And I was about it, you know. But then basically, I decided that I had this little boyfriend. And I met him when I was in Florida working and stuff like that. He was there working too. And I just like the fact that he was so driven and all that stuff. But anyways, that's beside the point. Bottom line, we decided, you know what, let's just go back on this work thing again and try to make some more money. You know what I mean? If it's working for us, working and making money, then why stop? So we decided, okay, we're just gonna go back and work. And we did that. His mom decided to keep my daughter for me while I work until we got our own place and stuff, and then she would bring my daughter over and all that stuff. So that's what we did. We came, I got a job. Where did I go? Oh, I went back to the diner that I was working at, because like I said, I really love these people, and they love me. So when I came back, it was no issue getting a job. Like, they literally just put me right back on the schedule. I walked in and I was like, hey, I'm back. And they were like, okay, bet, when do you want to start working? So that was a great feeling. And I went back to that job. And what else? What other job did I have? This is when I started working at Walmart. Y'all, Walmart was something else. Oh my god, that was something else. I've never worked this hard in my life. You hear me? I was working like crazy. But one of the main reasons with that was basically it was off season, so the restaurant industry was not really that booming. So I basically was only staying at that job out of loyalty and love for these people. But I really wasn't making much, because you know how the service industry goes. You don't get a steady paycheck. In Florida, it was like $5 an hour plus tips. But if you're not making much tips, then you're not really going home with much. So I was just like not making shit. So I ended up doing the whole Walmart thing, and just something to hold me off during the off season. And Walmart is always busy, always busy. And or off season in the restaurant industry was popping times for Walmart, because that was basically like during the holiday times and all that stuff. And during Christmas time, it is crazy at Walmart because they stock so much stuff and the things are just selling out rapidly because everybody's buying things for their family. There's Black Friday, like that whole time period. It was nothing but hours, and I was like basically on that mindset, like I'm gonna work until my body literally says I can't work no more. So I was working like double shifts, or I was working like a 10-hour shift at this Walmart, and then I would leave, and literally the Walmart I was working at, so listen how crazy this shit was. So the Walmart I was working at was 3 hours, yes, 3 hours away from where I lived at. And so the bus would pick us up because it would basically take us all for that shift. So it would pick us up like a whole like 4 hours before our shift because they gotta have enough time to pick up everybody and then that 3-hour drive. So I spent a lot of time just being on the road, driving around, and they basically would drive us out there. But to work at that further store, they were paying us an extra 50 cents an hour, and I don't know why I thought that was worth it, but I decided to take the job at the further store. And they would drive us there. Basically, I'd just sleep the whole way there, and then when I get there, I would work like a 9-hour shift. And then after that, it would be another 3-hour drive, and then the time that it takes to drop everybody off before we get home. So I would get home, I was working third shift again, so I would get home at like 11 o'clock in the morning after getting off at like 7. Yeah, it was crazy. And they would come pick us up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock to get to work at like 10. Yeah, because I was working like 10 to 7 or 11 to 7, somewhere there about. That was the time frame. And then literally, girl, like it was a lot of times where I would be doing that. And then like when I get home, I got a call from the contractor and he's like, okay, so this store in town needs like 10-15 people for this shift. Do you want to work? And I'll be like, yes, of course I do. Like, I'm tired, but I mean, I want to work. So I would literally get home, take a shower, change my clothes, eat something right quick, and then the bus would be right back to get me. And then I'd be at a whole nother Walmart working another 9-hour shift. I don't know why I was doing this to myself, but I was working so much. I was working like 80+ hours a week. Like, I was making so much money. Even other people that was working with me, when I get my checks like in the week, they would be like, how are you making so much money? I'm like, bruh, because I'm always at work. Like, I'm always working. Always working. Like, I just was so driven. I was like, I need to, it was just too much writing on this. I was just like, yeah, I know why I'm here. I gotta work. So I was making bank doing that, and I was still having the other job, but it was slow, so I was only going to work like every now and then with that one. So yeah, I did Walmart for a good bit, but then after a while, I was burnt out. Like, I was really burnt out because working like that nonstop, it's easy when you're young though, because your body can do that. You know, like if I ever tried that shit now, I swear to God, I would probably pass out and die. Like, I don't think I could do it now. But then I really used to bust ass working, and it paid off. It really did. I got to get a little, when I just came up here, I was literally living in a house with like 13 people, and then within like a month and a half, I ended up getting like an apartment, but it wasn't an apartment for myself. It was somebody that basically lived by themselves in a 3-bedroom house, and they rented me 2 of the rooms, and I was able to do that. I felt really good that I could do that, because I mean, living in a house with a handful of people versus like 13 random people is completely different. And yeah, I just felt like that was a come up. And then after that, I like literally just a few months after that, I bought my first car. That was a big come up. I bought my first car. It was like really cheap though, but I bought a car. And then I got another apartment. So I got an official, well, that was a house. I got a house, but not like to own. Like I rented a house. And that was a big step for me. I was like, yes. And I was excited because at this time, my daughter was in a position to come over here and all that stuff. So my daughter was here. And, you know, I just felt whole. Just being able to see what I'm working for when I go to work and I come home and my daughter is there. She was like 2 at the time, and she was, you know, she was walking and doing things and starting to talk, and I just felt so good that I was around. Man, I could cry, but like it's just a really hard feeling when you're sacrificing and you like go overseas to work and your family is left behind and you're like at work all day, and then you get to call for a little bit and maybe they're sleeping or just something is just like not the same, or they're crying because they miss you and you're just like, ah, dang, and you just feel so guilty. But it felt amazing when she made it here. I just felt like everything I was doing, I was reassured that it was all for a purpose and I should just keep moving forward and just keep doing what I'm doing. And basically I just did that. I did that for a while, and then I quit Walmart and I started, what did I start doing? Ooh, I started working at another restaurant, and this restaurant, oh my gosh, I was making money. I was making money, y'all. I was working at this restaurant, and they played up on the Jamaican thing. Basically, it was like a fake Caribbean restaurant. It was called like Montego Bay, a seafood bar and grill. And it was really cool. It was a big restaurant. They played like tropical music all the time. And I made a lot of money there too, because basically I used to make that $5 an hour plus tips, and in like their season I would make bank. I was making like $1,000+ in like on my check, and my check was only like my credit card tips plus my $5 an hour, and I was taking home cash every single day, and for most times I was leaving with at least $100 cash. So I was making like lot of money, and I was like, hey, little young girl making a bag. Yes, I felt so good. And I was saving a lot. But I was also spending a lot. I took on a lot more responsibility than I needed to. That's a whole nother video. But basically a lot of that money went down the drain. I wish I was smarter then. Like I just wish I had the mindset that I have now then, because I would have so much more money, and some of the struggles that I ended up having afterwards, if I was smarter then, I would have never had to go through that shit, because I would have always had money, you know what I mean? But basically I made all that money and spent it doing shit I should not be doing. But yeah, I ended up taking care of business though. You know, I was able to take care of stuff. I always have food. Always, like, my daughter was always having whatever she needed, but I just was spending without a care in the world. You know, that was that 21, 22-year-old phase where you're just like, oh, and you're just like mindlessly doing shit, you know? So I had that phase. A lot of that time was actually a blur for me, because I know I was working at that job for a while, and then I was also working at another restaurant, because I ended up quitting the diner because it just was too slow. And like I said, I was making a lot more money at the other restaurant, so I quitted the diner, and I started working at this other restaurant, and that one was kind of slow too, but it was a startup. They just started like a new store and whatever, and I just felt, I don't know, I felt good that I was a part of the beginning of something new. I don't know why, but I did. And that was my first job officially bartending, because technically I bartended in Jamaica, but it was not the same, you know. It wasn't like mixing drinks and all that. So this restaurant, I was actually like mixing drinks and making drink cocktails and all that stuff. So that was really cool, because I don't know why, I just felt like a step above being a waitress. I don't know, it felt great. And I was making decent, but not as decent as my other job, so that's why I had to keep that job. But then after that, what did I do? I started working in a club. Yes, y'all, I started working in a club. And I mean, a lot of people should know this, but a lot of people don't. But yeah, I used to work in a club, and I did that just because I'm not gonna go into full detail. You can use your imagination. I did that because I like the fact that basically I wasn't working for nobody. I was an independent contractor, so I was working for myself, and I was making bank. Like, I was making bank. So I did that. I did that for a while too. And then with that, I was going a lot of different places. I was like, not traveling, but I went to New Orleans. I went, like, you know, not to live, but like I'd go here work, I'd go there and work, different parts of Florida, you know, like I was kind of just doing that. But it was a certain lifestyle that I just couldn't keep up with. So I eventually had to let that go, honey, and try to do something else. So then from there, I think shortly after that, I decided some shit happened, and I decided I wanted a change in life. I wanted to move, and I just feel like when things happen to me, I just feel like I need to just completely get away from the situation. And I felt like, shit, America is a big enough country. I've been here long enough. I need to go somewhere else. So then I ended up, dang, like I feel like I should end this video out right here, because the goal is I'm not trying to have these videos be longer than 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I think I will end this video here again. I'm so sorry it's taking so long. I promise I won't upload these videos like one each week, because that's like torture. I hate having to wait to watch the follow-up to something. So I'm probably gonna upload them, not back to back in the same day, but I don't worry, I got y'all. And the next video is for sure the last one. Bye, guys.